Hello and welcome to a Monday Doodle on the 6th of February 2023. Today is more of a show and tell Monday Doodle. I won't be drawing, so I will just talk a bit about a process of sketching for a children's book I've begun together with a writer, and I would like to share with you how my process is when I start sketching. It's no secret that I am not an organized person when it comes to creating illustrations. It's very much in the east and the west, going back and forth between style and composition and colors and all that. But I have really tried to structure the work a bit more, so I have now found out that I could separate or order these things that I've been doing in piles. So I'll talk a bit about colors. I will talk a bit about stylistic experiments for the children's book, and then I'll talk about this is a mixed pile, which is about colors, ways, roads that I not like, that I have discarded, also to show you that process, that's a part of the journey, and show you a bit of composition work and composition sketches, and finally I'll show you how I have planned to do all the illustrations, because this weekend here I came up with a style that I'm very fond of, and I think will be the key. So that's always very grand when you find out what style you want to have. So let's just have a little cheers, and I'm on the water wagon and right now because I've just had a huge cup of very black coffee. So to prevent me from crawling around the walls and ceiling, I will just have some water. Cheers. Wonderful. And this time around I have also chosen to create a kind of strict deadline for myself. I agreed with the writer that I will be able to show her some sketches and actually final spreads in March, 1st of March. So I've created a little deadline for myself. I don't know if this will be mirror-sided. So on the 12th of February, my goal is to have made 3 spreads, sketched out spreads, ready for being colored in, and also find the style. It shows down here, find the style. So quite an ambitious deadline. And as you can tell, we are right now, not Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday, but here. So this is really a very good way of showing yourself how quick the days fly by. So this really motivates me to keep working every day, and otherwise I just won't do it. I know myself that much. I won't be doing it. I'll be doing YouTube videos, or I'll be doing other projects that, yes, I'm very bad at working on one project and then go to another and another and another. I don't know if you guys out there know this issue. But let's dive into the sketches now. I did let's see if I can flip this camera down here. I did a little video on an art haul where I've been out to buy some watercolors. So these are actually the watercolors that I've been testing. These colors only consists of, hello Zoe, welcome. Consists of the primary colors red, blue and yellow. And I found out 2 things, which is, first and foremost, I do like the colors, I really do. I just found out that they are not necessarily kind of the colors that I will go with, because they are a bit murky, and well, I just my stomach feeling is that it's not so well to go with that style that I have settled on, that I'll show you later. But just to show you that I like this one actually, because these are very harmonious, these colors. But it's always good to have these colors to use for another children's project where they could fit in. And I should also say that it's quite difficult to judge these colors when you don't have a full spread to see from. So these are the watercolor colors, and I'm still not sure about the coloring. That's a thing that I'll go into later on. But for instance, this color here, I found out that the character, one of the central characters in the book, he will not be in this bluish color because it's just too bland. I realize now that I totally forgot to tell you about the children's book project itself, so maybe I should just quickly run through that. So the last children's book that I illustrated, we had 4 or 5 characters, and we had one setting only, and we had just a very simple kind of plot in the book. This time around, the book that I have to illustrate now has, again, 5 or 6 characters. However, one of the characters is a monster that can shift shapes. So this monster will be able to transform itself into different shapes around 10 times for the book. So he becomes like a gorilla type, he becomes like an octopus kind of, he becomes a cat, he becomes a dragon even. So there's a lot of potential to have a lot of fun with this character. But it also means that there's a lot of work in it. But I look forward so much to create it, and I have the text right here. This is the text. It's funny to imagine that this simple text right here could become a book in the future. So that was a little bit about the book, so you can have a bit of a feeling of what I'm working on. I just scoop these together. And then I would like to talk a bit about style. Style is a thing for me that is less complex than colors, but still a thing which I struggle with, because I have many different styles, you could say. I like to cross-hatch, and I like to play around with watercolors and color pencils and all that. It's just I'm never quite sure about what it is that I'm doing. I can't really get a grasp of it. So I do a lot of experimentations also. Let's see if you can see them here. So here we have Frank, actually, who's transformed into a gorilla. We have here Frank's tail in one of the spreads. And I found out here that I liked this cross-hatching thing, but you can also see that I really like color pencils. So how should one go about it? And also this scissor here caught my eye. And the way I go about doing this stylistic experimentation is simply by cutting out with the scissor the things that I like, and then I line them up in front of myself and see, okay, which direction am I going and what feels right in my stomach. We have another one here where I'm not happy about the colors, not at all. We have a little tail here. And then eventually you come up with something that is close to what you like. So here we have something that started to look like something that I wanted. We have the color pencil, and we have watercolors actually. So first watercolors, the ones that I bought, that you recall from the February art haul. And then these line works here are done with also a watercolor, and then he's been outlined with a colored pencil. But even though I like these ones very much, these were not the thing that I came up with. This is also an experiment that will lead up to what I ended up with doing, because I simply can't seem to go away from the cross-hatching. It has something nice about it. But you never know, I might switch again. But just to say that it's nice to have something that you can hang up your your thoughts on. So these is always a good friends to have around you. So that was a bit about style. Then we have something that I usually never get to see the light of day, because this is all the things that I'm not happy about, which are also part of the journey. But I don't think that many illustrators or artists in general show the things that they're not so happy about. We have a couple of things here. Let me just get this out of the way. So this one here, the colors are off, and I didn't really like the drawing. It didn't really show something. And here we have Frank the Monster has put a bin over the top of the head of a boy here, but the colors are just not good, I think, because they're so bland and kind of there are not many nuances in there. There's a lot more of excitement going on in this one. And this one also, you see again, the colors are just blocks. You have a bit of nuances going on here, but I don't think it looks very interesting. Here we have a foot of Frank, paw, but the colors seem not stark and kind of murky, and so this is just to show that I do a lot of sketches also where I'm not satisfied with it at all. It's hard to put into words what it is that make you unsatisfied with some of it, but I think it's important to do a bit of thinking to see, okay, what is it here that doesn't work. Another one here. She became too murky. Why was that now? Oh yeah, this was because I used a fine liner and then I used some watercolor that was too opaque. So here I found out that opaque watercolors could not be used together. A little mouse here. Another experiment here with some trees. And so the last thing is the pile of compositions. So while I do all these color experiments, I also start to work on the compositions for the spreads. So here we have one where two central characters actually are taking a breath after running away from a lavina, actually. And we have another experiment here with Frank's tentacles. We have a little thumbnail here almost of Frank who's looking down at the central character who's called Ellen. We have an idea here for a front cover. Sometimes during the process I just also get these ideas that I just quickly scribble down and then keep them. So my process is very chaotic, and I think that I've come to a point where I just embrace that. This was a happy accident. I kind of like the colors here and the way the eye looks monsterish. Another composition here for actually the same scene as this one, just in a different setting here. And this one where I try to get the line work here from that one to that character here. And what else do we have? A little, also again, thumbnail here, which I like the gesture of. And this is just something that I can use for making compositions. Sometimes it's nice to have, I feel, a lot of doodles that I can try to compose a picture of. So it might be that if I make a square around this one here, for instance, I could have maybe a hill here. some trees. Like so, they will have a little landscape just by coincidence, just by using these lines here. And you can use these as a landscape or go bigger or whatever you want to. I forgot to mention something. Yes, very chaotic process. I could be more organized. I feel like sometimes I could use a desk that is like at least the double size of this desk here, because rather quickly it gets filled up, and also here it's filled up. I would like to now share with you a test spread that shows you the style that I'm actually going to go with. Let me just see here. I have it here on the computer. Yes, so this is the spread here. So this is one of the central spreads where Frank is sitting in the room with this character here, is called Ellen, and Frank is Ellen's kind of temper. He appears whenever she gets angry, and it's such a wonderful story. So as you can tell here, I haven't finished this drawing yet, but what I will go with is a kind of strong line for the line work you see here with a fine liner. I will use a purple fine liner, and I'm trying to go for a fine liner that has this broken line here, if I can find it. So essentially you have the feeling of this cross-hatched character here, and then I aim to have some watercolors in there as well, for the environments and also for some of the colors. So actually you could say that these two experiments will merge together. And then it will be, I will use this purple here as a recurring thing in the book here. So everything that's kind of a solid color will be purple. And then that's my obstruction. Yes, I can also just for fun show you another spread from early on, which is a scene where they are in a car. So here I try to work with pencil. She's sitting in the car with her dad, and she gets angry at her dad. So Frank is showing again. Yes, so that was just a little show and tell. We're also up on almost 20 minutes now. Time's flying. I better get to work, and I think I will make myself now a cup of coffee, and then I will start doing one of the other spreads using this style here that I just talked about, this line work here. Yes, that was it. I'm busy. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a splendid Monday. See ya.